Hello and welcome to the June edition of my 2022 election night. The 2024 campaign trail, the next episode of that is taking a while to work on, and so I'm going to be releasing every 3 to 5 days a side project, something it won't take me that long to work on as I finish the campaign trail video, the presentation. I wanted to make it really good for y'all. I'm doing my best, so please bear with me. So let's get started. It is now 7 p.m. and the following states have their poll closings. And out of Indiana Senate race, we can project that Todd Young will go on to win re-election to another term, defeating Tom McDermott by around 21 points. Out of Kentucky Senate race, Rand Paul will win another term to the Senate, defeating Charles Booker by around 31 points. Out of South Carolina, Tim Scott will win re-election to another term, defeating Crystal Matthews by around 16 percentage points. Out of Vermont, Peter Welch will go on to win his first term to the Senate, succeeding Patrick Leahy. And out of Georgia's Senate race, currently too close to call, Raphael Warnock has a lead over Herschel Walker currently. And here's the current Senate map thus far, where Democrats have a lead 37 seats, Republicans 32 seats. Out of South Carolina's governor race, Henry McMasters will be projected to win another term as governor, defeating Joe Cunningham by around 16 percentage points. And out of Vermont's governor race, Phil Scott will win a landslide re-election bid, defeating Brenda Siegel by around 40 points. And out of Georgia's governor race, too close to call, Stacey Abrams has a lead over Brian Kemp currently. And here's the current governor map. Republicans lead 10 seats to 6 for the Democrats. It is now 7:30 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Out of Ohio's Senate race, J.D. Vance will be projected to win his first term to the Senate, succeeding Rob Portman. He will go on to defeat Tim Ryan by around 10 percentage points, underperforming the generic battle a little bit as it is an R+6 national environment tonight, but still he will go on to defeat Tim Ryan nonetheless by a safe margin. Out of North Carolina's Senate race, currently too close to call, Cherry Beasley has a lead over Ted Budd right now. And we can now make a big projection for Republicans. Out of the Georgia Senate race, Herschel Walker will go on to defeat Raphael Warnock, flipping the Senate seat red for the Republicans, which is good news. If they were to hold every single seat tonight, Republicans are automatically winning the Senate if this is the only Senate flip tonight. However, we expect otherwise. Herschel Walker is the projected winner out of Georgia. He will go on to defeat Raphael Warnock by around 5 percentage points, a massive performance of what people thought the result was going to be. Here is the current Senate map thus far. Democrats still lead 37 seats to the Republicans 34 seats. Out of the Ohio governor race, Mike DeWine will go on to outperform his colleague J.D. Vance. He will go on to defeat Mayor Nane Whaley by around 20 points. And out of Georgia's governor race, Brian Kemp will go on to defeat Stacey Abrams. He will go on to win re-election, defeating Stacey Abrams by around 7 points, overperforming Herschel Walker's numbers big time, as he will do better in the Atlanta suburbs. Here's the current Georgia map thus far. Republicans lead 12 seats to the Democrats 6 seats. And it is now 8 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Out of Alabama's Senate race, Katie Britt will go on to win her first term in the Senate, succeeding Richard Shelby. She will go on to defeat Will Boyd by around 34 percentage points. Out of Florida's Senate race, Marco Rubio will go on to win another term to the Senate, winning by a safe margin, defeating Val Demings by around 12 points, flipping a county that Democrats said was impossible to do. He would go on to flip Miami-Dade County, which is something Democrats said there's no way he can do it, no way, no how, but he did it nonetheless, and Democrats are seething right now. And out of Missouri's Senate race, we can project that Billy Long will be able to go on to win his first term to the Senate, succeeding Roy Blunt, as he will defeat Lucas Kuntz by around 25 percentage points. Out of Oklahoma's Senate race, James Lankford will go on to win another term to the Senate, defeating Jason Bollinger by around 32 points. Big victory, or 42 points, excuse me, a 42-point victory for James Lankford. Out of Oklahoma's other Senate race, Mark Wayne Mullen will go on to win his first term to the Senate, succeeding Jim Inhofe. He will go on to defeat Kendra Horn by around the same margin as James Lankford's victory. Out of Illinois Senate race, Tammy Duckworth will go on to match 2020 Joe Biden's numbers. She will go on to defeat Peggy Hubbard by around 17 points, winning by around 17 points. Out of Maryland, Chris Van Hollen will go on to win another term to the Senate, defeating Chris Chaffee by around 28 percentage points. Out of Connecticut's Senate race, Richard Blumenthal is currently leading Timis Clarides, currently by around 40 points. This is a race that many pundits didn't think was going to be competitive. As of right now, we are expecting this race to become a under double-digit race as of right now. Out of New Hampshire Senate race, currently too close to call, Maggie Hassan has a lead over Chuck Morse. Out of Pennsylvania Senate race, Mehmet Oz has a lead over John Fetterman. And we can now make a call out of North Carolina Senate race. Ted Budd will be able to win his first term to the Senate, succeeding Richard Burr. He will go on to defeat Cherry Beasley by around 8 percentage points. A big victory for Ted Budd and the Republicans. Here's the current Senate map thus far. Republicans have overtaken the lead over Democrats on the Senate map. Republicans now have 40 seats to Democrats' 39 seats. Out of Alabama's governor race, Kay Ivey will be able to win a second term as governor, defeating Yolanda Flowers by around 34 percentage points. Out of Florida's governor race, Ron DeSantis will defy all odds and outperform Marco Rubio's numbers. He will defeat Charlie Crist by around 15 percentage points. Big victory for Ron DeSantis here tonight. Out of New Hampshire's governor race, yes, Chris SUNUNU will go on to win another term as governor, defeating Tom Sherman by around 40 points. Out of Oklahoma's governor race, Kevin Stitt will go on to win another term as governor, underperforming Lankford and Mullen both. He will defeat Joy Hoffmeister by around 35 percentage points. Out of Tennessee's governor race, Bill Lee will go on to win another term as governor. He will go on to defeat J.B. Smiley by around 32 points. Out of Illinois' governor race, J.B. Pritzker will go on to win another term as governor, underperforming Tammy Duckworth's numbers. He will only defeat Richard Arvin by around 11 points, unlike Tammy Baldwin's 17-point victory earlier in the night. Out of Maryland's governor race, a flip for the Democrats. Tom Perez will win his first term as governor, flipping the seat from red to blue. He will defeat Kelly Scholes by around 28 percentage points. And out of Massachusetts' governor race, another flip for the Democrats. MUARA HEALY will go on to flip the seat from red to blue. She will defeat Jeff Deal by around 23 percentage points. Out of Rhode Island's governor race, Dan McKee will win his first full term as governor, defeating Kenneth Hopkins by around 12 percentage points. And out of Connecticut's governor race, is currently too close to call. Ned Lamont has a lead over Bob Stefanowski. This is a rematch from their 2010 encounter with one another. And out of Maine's governor race, too close to call. Janet Mills has a lead over Paula Page. Out of Pennsylvania's governor race, currently too close to call. Doug Mastriano has a lead over Josh Shapiro. Here's the current governor map thus far. Republicans lead 17 seats to the Democrats' 10 seats. It is now 8:30 p.m. and Arkansas has their poll closings. And out of Arkansas's Senate race, John Boozman will go on to win another term as senator. He will go on to defeat Natalie James by around 23 percentage points. We can now make a call out of Connecticut's Senate race. Richard Blumenthal will now go on to win another term in his closest race yet. He will go on to defeat Timis Clarides by around 9 points in this race. Out of New Hampshire's Senate race, currently too close to call. Maggie Hassan keeps her lead over Chuck Morse. Pennsylvania Senate race, too close to call. Mehmet Oz keeps his lead over John Fetterman. Here's the current Senate map thus far. Democrats catching up, but Republicans are leading 41 seats to the Democrats' 40 seats. Out of Arkansas's governor race, Sarah Sanders will win her first term as governor. She will go on to defeat Chris Jones by around 23 percentage points. Or excuse me, 27. I apologize. Out of Connecticut's governor race, Ned Lamont is currently leading Bob Stefanowski by around 10 points as the gap continues to close more and more as the hours go on. Out of Maine's governor race, currently too close to call. Janet Mills keeps her lead over Paula Page. Pennsylvania's governor race, too close to call. Doug Mastriano now has an 8-point lead over Josh Shapiro. Here's the current governor's map right now. Republicans are leading 18 seats to the Democrats' 10 seats. It is now 9 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Out of Colorado Senate race, Michael Bennett will go on to win another term as a senator from the state. He will go on to defeat Ron Hanks by around 12 percentage points. Out of New York Senate race, Chuck Schumer will go on to match Joe Biden's 2020 numbers. He will go on to defeat Joe Pinion by around 23 percentage points. Out of Kansas's Senate race, Jerry Moran will go on to win another term as senator. He will go on to defeat Mike Holland by around 25 percentage points. Out of Louisiana Senate race, John Kennedy will go on to win another term. He will go on to defeat Gary Chambers by around 30 points. Out of North Dakota Senate race, John Hoven will go on to win another term as senator. A lot of people are wanting John Hoven to become the next Senate Majority Leader. So this could be, hey, maybe John Hoven will be the next Senate Majority Leader if Trump says he wants him. But John Hoven will go on to defeat Christensen by around 33 percentage points. Out of South Dakota Senate race, John Thune will go on to win another term as senator, as he will go on to defeat Brian Bings by around 25 points in the state. Out of Arizona Senate race, currently too close to call, Mark Kelly has a lead over Blake Masters. Out of Wisconsin Senate race, is currently too close to call, Mandela Barnes has a 12-point lead over Ron Johnson. Out of New Hampshire Senate race, Maggie Hassan has a 9-point lead over Chuck Morse. Out of Pennsylvania Senate race, too close to call, Mehmet Oz has a 9-point lead over John Fetterman. Here's the current Senate maps thus far. Republicans are leading 45 seats to the Democrats' 42 seats. This is a very, very close night here. And out of Colorado's governor race, you can project that Jared Polis will go on to win another term as governor, as he will win by around 12 points over Heidi Ganahl. Out of New York's governor race, Kathy Hochul will go on to win another term as governor, defeating Lee Zeldin very narrowly for a Democrat state. She will only win by 10 points over Lee Zeldin. Out of Nebraska's governor race, Jim Pellin will be the projected winner in Nebraska's governor race, winning his first term. He will go on to defeat Carol Blood by around 28 points. Out of South Dakota's governor race, Kristi Noem will go on to win a second term as governor. She will go on to defeat Jamie Smith by around 25 percentage points. Out of Texas governor race, Greg Abbott will go on to win another term as governor, defeating Beto O'Rourke by around 15 points. Out of Wyoming's governor race, Mark Gordon will go on to win another term as governor, as one of the most popular governors in the country. He will go on to defeat his opponent by around 53 points. Arizona's governor race, too close to call, Katie Hobbs has a lead over Carrie Lake. Out of Kansas governor race, too close to call, Laura Kelly has an 8-point lead over Derek Schmidt. Out of Michigan's governor race, too close to call, Gretchen Whitmer has a lead over Tudor Dixon right now. Out of Minnesota's governor race, too close to call, Tim Walz has a lead over Scott Jensen. Out of New Mexico's governor race, Michelle Lujan Grisham has a lead over Mark Ronchetti. Out of Wisconsin's governor race, Tony Evers has a 12-point lead over Tim Mickles. Out of Connecticut's governor race, we can now make a projection that Ned Lamont will narrowly win re-election to another term as governor. He will go on to defeat Bob Stefanowski by around 4 points, which he's doing 1 point better than 4 years ago, but daggum, Bob Stefanowski put up a fight when people thought, hey, Ned Lamont would win by double digits. And we can also make a projection out of Pennsylvania's governor race. Republicans essentially gave up on this race about a month ago as Josh Shapiro kept leading in polls. And even then, Josh Shapiro will only win by 2 points over Doug Mastriano. That's what you get when you nominate a far-right nutjob like Doug Mastriano. And out of Maine's governor race, is currently too close to call. Janet Mills has a 10-point lead over Paula Page. Here's the current governor map thus far. Republicans are leading with 22 seats and the Democrats 14 seats. It is now 10 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Out of Iowa's Senate race, we can project that Chuck Grassley will go on to win another term as a senator. He will go on to defeat Michael Franken by around 20 points. Many people are pretty much agreeing that Michael Franken was a better choice than Abby Finkenauer, as she was already losing by 20 points in polling, which is not a good sign. Out of Utah's Senate race, Mike Lee will go on to win another term. He will go on to underperform the generic ballot by quite a bit, but he will defeat Evan McMullen by around 17 points. Out of Nevada's Senate race, currently too close to call, Adam Laxalt has a lead over Catherine Cortez-Masto. Out of Arizona Senate race, too close to call, Mark Kelly has a 16-point lead over Blake Masters. Out of Wisconsin Senate race, too close to call, Mandela Barnes has a 2-point lead over Ron Johnson. Out of New Hampshire Senate race, currently too close to call, Maggie Hassan has a 3-point lead over Chuck Morse. Out of Pennsylvania Senate race, currently too close to call. Dr. Oz is a 3-point lead over John Fetterman. Here's the current Senate map thus far. Republicans lead 47 seats and the Democrats 42 seats. Republicans only need 4 seats. They need, here's what they need. They need Idaho, Alaska. We can give those 2 to the Republicans. That puts them at 59. They need to win 2 of these states currently in yellow. That's all they need. They need 2 of these states in yellow. They need, and right now they're in good shape in Wisconsin. They're in good shape. So they just need 1 of the other yellows and they win the Senate. And out of Iowa's governor race, we can project that Kim Reynolds will go on to win another term as governor, defeating Deidre DeGiere by around 14 points. Out of Nevada's governor race, it is currently too close to call. Joe Lombardo has a lead over Steve Sisolak. Out of Kansas' governor race, a flip for the Republicans. Derek Schmidt will go on to flip the seat from blue to red. He will defeat Laura Kelly by around 6 percentage points, which underperforming, but Laura Kelly wasn't unpopular. She was quite popular, but the red wave was too much for her to handle. Out of Minnesota's governor race, Tim Walz will go on to win another term as governor as he defeats Scott Jensen by around 7 points. Out of Arizona's governor race, currently too close to call. Katie Hobbs is a 12-point lead over Carrie Lake. Out of Michigan's governor race, too close to call. Gretchen Whitmer has a 16-point lead over Tudor Dixon. Out of New Mexico's governor race, currently too close to call. Michelle Grisham has a 12-point lead over Mark Ronchetti. Out of Wisconsin's governor race, too close to call. Tony Evers has a 2-point lead over Tim Mickles. Out of Maine's governor race, too close to call. Janet Mills has a 2-point lead over Paula Page. And here is the map thus far. Republicans just need 2 more seats in order to retain the National Governors Association, but Republicans leading 24 seats and the Democrats 15 seats. It is now 11 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Out of California Senate race, Alex Padilla will go on to win another term as his first full term as a senator, defeating Dan Muser by around 18 percentage points, a big overperformance from the Republicans in the state. Out of Hawaii Senate race, Brian Schatz will go on to win another term as a senator, defeating Bob McDermott by around 21 points. And out of Oregon's Senate race, Ron Wyden will break even with Joe Biden's 2020 numbers, winning re-election, defeating Joe Ray Perkins by around 16 percentage points. Out of Washington's Senate race, Patty Murray will go on to win another term as senator, defeating Tiffany Smiley by around 12 points. Out of Idaho's Senate race, Mike Crapo will go on to win another term as senator, defeating David Roth by around 32 points. Out of Arizona's Senate race, we can now make a big projection for Democrats as Mark Kelly will defy all odds and win re-election to another term. He will defeat Blake Masters by around 2 percentage points, as many people essentially are now agreeing that Blake Masters is a terrible candidate. But Mark Kelly had a lot of Republican backing as he's winning a good chunk of the Republican vote right now. And we can now make a projection out of Wisconsin Senate race. Ron Johnson will go on to win another term as senator, defeating Mandela Barnes by around 4 percentage points, a big victory for Republicans in Wisconsin. And out of Nevada Senate race, too close to call. Adam Laxalt now has a 2-point lead over Catherine Cortez-Masto. And out of New Hampshire Senate race, a statistical tie between the 2 candidates. Maggie Hassan has a narrow lead right now. Out of Pennsylvania Senate race, too close to call. John Fetterman is narrowly leading as of right now. And here's the current Senate map. Republicans leading 49 seats to 47 seats. This is anyone's game still. It is a nail-biter right now. Out of California's governor race, Gavin Newsom will win his 2nd term as governor. He will defeat Brian Dahl by around 18 percentage points. Out of Hawaii's governor race, Kai Cahill will go on to win his 1st term as governor, defeating BJ Penn by around 25 points. Out of Idaho's governor race, Brad Little will go on to win another term as governor, defeating Stephanie Height by around 42 points. And out of Oregon's governor race, currently too close to call, we have a massive third-party challenger in Betsy Johnson, but Tina Kotek is currently leading 4 points over Christine Drazen right now. And we can now make a projection out of Michigan's governor race, as Gretchen Whitmer will defy all odds and win re-election to another term in a red wave, defeating Tudor Dixon by around 2 percentage points. And we can now make a gain for Republicans in Wisconsin, as Tim Michels will go on to flip this seat red, defeating Tony Evers by around 4 percentage points, similar to Ron Johnson's victory. A big win for Republicans out of the Rust Belt. And we can now make a projection that of the governor majorities after that win in Wisconsin, that the Republicans will retake the majority in the National Governors Association, currently led by Republican Eric Holcomb, as he is the RGA chair. Republicans will retake or retain the Governors Association. Out of Nevada's governor race, too close to call, Joe Lombardo has a 2-point lead over Steve Sisolak. And out of Arizona's governor race, currently too close to call, Katie Hobbs has a 2-point lead over Carrie Lake. Out of New Mexico's governor race, currently too close to call, Michelle Grisham has a 2-point lead over Mark Ronchetti. Out of Maine's governor race, too close to call, a statistical tie between the two candidates. Janet Mills has a very narrow lead over Paula Page. And here is the current governor map so far. Republicans have won the National Governors Association with 26 seats, and the Democrats 18 seats. We still have 6 seats still left to call right now. We've got Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Maine, and of course Alaska down there. We still got quite a few seats left, but it's pretty much been called that Republicans are retaining this. Let's see if they'll build off of their 2021 numbers with their gain in Virginia, as of course currently they are breaking even right now, as of course they lost Massachusetts and Maryland, but they gained Kansas and Wisconsin. Let's see if they gain any more seats tonight. It is now 1 a.m. We now have poll closings out of Alaska, and it is currently too close to call, as here are the results of the first round. Lisa Murkowski at 38% and Kelly Tishabaka at 32%, and the other two candidates have some obscure number. Lisa Murkowski seems to be in a good position right now. And here is the map thus far. We have now colored in Alaska as yellow. And out of the governor race, Mike Dunleavy currently at 30% and Bill Walker at 28%, and the other two candidates have some obscure number. Bill Walker doing pretty well for an independent, as there is a Democrat into Republicans in this race, and a lot of people are swooping in for Bill Walker. We can now make a big gain for Republicans. The meme comes true as Oregon turns red this year, as Christine Drazan does the impossible and wins the governor's race. This is a gain for Republicans, as Christine Drazan will go on to defeat Tina Kotek by around 2 points. Betsy Johnson gets around 11-12% of the vote, doing pretty well for an independent candidate this year. She might have the chaotic politics support. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And here is the current governor's map thus far. Republicans now at 27 seats to the Democrats 18 seats. If Republicans were to win the rest of these seats, you know, they flip Nevada, New Mexico, and Maine, they get 30 seats. That's a gain. Now 1:15, we can now make a call out of a race, and out of Nevada Senate race, we can project that Catherine Cortez-Masto will go on to win another term as senator. She will defy all odds and defeat Adam Laxalt by around 0.6%, a big victory for Democrats right now. And out of Nevada's governor race, Steve Sisolak will also defy all odds and win re-election as governor, defeating Joe Lombardo by around the same margin. It is now 1:30 a.m. We can now make a projection out of a race, and out of New Hampshire's Senate race, we can project that Maggie Hassan will barely survive her race with Chuck Morse, defeating him by around 0.2%, one of the closest Senate races here tonight. It's now 1:45 a.m. We can now make a call out of Pennsylvania, and it's a flip for Democrats. John Fetterman will go on to win his first term to the Senate, succeeding Pat Toomey and flipping the seat from red to blue. John Fetterman, pretty much a powerhouse, it seems like. He will defeat Dr. Oz by around 0.3%, a very close race, as it seems. And we can now project that the Democrats will retain their Senate majority barely, as it seems like there won't be much change as Republicans take Georgia, but they lose Pennsylvania. And here's the Senate map thus far. Democrats have 50 seats, and the Republicans have 49 seats, and we can pretty much tell you that the Alaska will go red. So it's 50-50, no change. Republicans take Georgia, Democrats take Pennsylvania. It's now 2 a.m. We can now make calls out of Alaska as ranked choice voting is done. Lisa Murkowski will go on to win another term as senator. She will go on to defeat Kelly Tshibaka by around 2 percentage points. As here's the map right now: Lisa Murkowski in red and Kelly Tshibaka in orange. And out of the Alaska's governor race, Mike Dunleavy will go on to winning his second term as governor. He will go on to defeat Bill Walker by around the same margin, but with different coalitions, as we have Mike Dunleavy in red and Bill Walker in yellow. Very different coalitions right here. It is now 2:15 a.m. We can now make a call out of Arizona's governor race as Katie Hobbs will flip this seat blue. This was both these candidates very hated. A lot independents just did not turn out in Arizona for this race. They just voted for Mark Kelly in the Senate race and then didn't vote down ballot. So Katie Hobbs, Kari Lake, this is a very low turnout election for the governor's race, but she will beat Kari Lake by around 0.4%. Very narrow election victory for Katie Hobbs. It is now 2:30 a.m. We can now make a call out of New Mexico's governor race. Michelle Lujan Grisham will go on to win another term, barely surviving her race against Mark Ronchetti. She will defeat him by 0.7%. Very close race here. Mark Ronchetti making her sweat a lot, attacking her on her sexual assault scandal, but apparently that did not matter. It's now 2:45 a.m. We can now make a project out of the final race, and that's Maine's governor race. Janet Mills will go on to win another term as governor, defeating former governor Paula Page by around 0.5%. As votes are being counted, it's a very close race right now. Paula Page does very well in the first district. Janet Mills does great in the second district. And here's the final map so far. Out of the Senate map, we can say it's 50-50. Democrats flip Pennsylvania, and Georgia's flips for Republicans. And here is the governor map thus far. No change. The Democrats flipped 3 seats in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Maryland, as Republicans flipped Oregon, Wisconsin, and Kansas. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And we can now make a projection. This is some good news, as the House majority will go to the Republicans again, as they will put some sort of check on Joe Biden's powers. Even though they didn't do much better in the Senate, they do a lot better in the House. Here are the flips. As you can see, Democrats still made some flips. The only flip that I am seeing is an empty seat in California, though you could probably just scour this and see that I am missing something. But of course, they do very well. They flip quite a few state delegations. They flipped both New Hampshire state delegations, they flipped the entirety of New Hampshire. They flipped New Mexico. They flipped Minnesota. This is a very good performance on the House level for Republicans, as Democrats flipped 2 seats. If you can find another seat, you're a wizard. But Republicans actually flipped 48 seats for a net gain of 46 seats for the Republicans, as Republicans now have 253 seats in the House of Representatives, and Democrats only have 182 seats in the House of Representatives. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow my Twitter @ChaoticPolitics. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.